things for projects for themselves. So it's different. Sometimes they can work on something started earlier by some others, but often they want to do their own thing. So you just got to keep them moving, and you got to have a steering committee of people in the community, business and all, that come and connect with them at those retreats and say, okay, I will help you get the resources and whatever you need to be successful. And then all of a sudden you have a whole bunch of believers that start pumping this around. Like you got the leader of this, they put two CEOs in charge yesterday of this $50 million effort. Okay, both corporate people. One of them is the head of a capital company raising lots of money for business. Okay? He grew up in England.
Thank you.
Yeah. He's a cool guy. So you want him involved in this kind of a process because then he can say, these kids are awesome. They got leadership training equal to our level of training of people, corporate level. So we took all of the goals of business and we worked it into this plan. So when they come and they see this stuff face to face, they go, that's exactly the same thing that I'm doing with all my people in my company. I didn't even think that was being done at all in education. And up to now it hasn't. Okay? So we think that the most important thing is that kids learn this body of math, and this body of science, and this and this and this. When the world knowledge is expanding and doubling every 8 to 9 months, we need kids who are capable and believe that they're capable of learning anything at any time. That's what we need. And we need kids who will bolt off into the unknown and discover the new stuff that we're all going to want to buy and that the whole world wants to buy. So we need creative problem solving, we need creative design, we need innovation. These kids need to be improving everything that's around them, their neighborhood, their school, not just their own lives, but they need to be touching everything. One of the projects that we're suggesting here is to join together with real estate agents, okay, in the whole area or maybe outside the area, go over and clean up the yards of foreclosed homes, help those homes sell faster and sell for more money, and then they get a piece of the money. And set up partnerships where they can do some work that will help that industry be better and get more money, and they get a piece of the action. So there are, the only things that we have project-wise are real projects making real differences and getting real rewards, just like business does. And business has not seen that come out of the educational system, ever. But now they can. And so now you will find millions and millions of dollars being open to you that was totally closed before. McDonald's said, how fast can you get this thing going around the country? I said, one. He said, well, we have 100% turnover every 67 days in our restaurant. And it's costing us lots of money. Management nightmare. Okay? If you could give us really dependable kids who show initiative, who care about serving other people, who have a good heart, whatever, it would save us so much money and time. We'd be glad to funnel more money into that kind of project. So the schools are somewhat starved of money because the outcomes that the world is asking them, they're not putting out. And so they're not going to get any. But just like in Burbank, they've been at odds with each other for 20 some odd years. No bond issues, no, you don't get any extra money. And all of a sudden these kids come in, do these wonderful things. And they added more than just that food drive and everything else. They just did unbelievable stuff. And then the town goes, well, how much do you need? Okay, here. Okay, and we're talking about bringing businesses in here. We're negotiating with restaurants and all kinds of stuff. So it's a much more complete package than just turning the kids.
I like the idea of going into the schools, and each school at a time.
Right.
Because then you pull everyone with the same kind of...
Well, they have to be
together.
around each other
Right, so they
for
can
6
go out
hours a
and do
day,
something.
right?
Yes.
And often they break up into groups and this group eats over here, this group eats over here, and they're not really a family. And so they got to walk through the halls just kind of looking at each other like, talk to me, let me do this. And so they're already at odds. You can break that in 24 hours.
I was just trying to think, how can we capture some of the young people who are not in juvenile detentions, who have dropped out of high schools?
You can pull them back in.
How
I
we
mean,
can
you could
pull
allow
those
them to
in
participate
that are
in the
16,
food drives or
17,
whatever. Just
18
invite them
years
to come
old.
along. invite them to be a part. If they used to be a student, you know, there, invite them to come along. I have no problem in a level of dropout, which is probably 40–45% at least here. I don't have any problem with pulling some of those kids back. Maybe half a dozen at a time with all the rest of the kids. Pull them in.
Well, everybody will follow the leader.
Yeah.
We developed a property right at the beginning of Englewood Way when you come in, which was a beautiful 12-unit apartment building. We sold out pretty quickly, and everybody on the block and everybody around us started to rehab their homes, rehab their buildings, and they rehabbed the nursing home right next to us after we did all that work.
Follow the lead when they see someone.
So, you know, so business leaders, I forgot your name again.
Brad.
Brad. Business leaders like Brad can take a lot of initiative and can work with kids to open up new developments and families and all. What you need is you need some movement on the part of kids that's large enough to capture somebody's imagination out there, okay? And we haven't had that kind of movement in hundreds of students. We get a few here and a few there, but it's not enough. We've got to move hundreds, literally. And we've got to move them into such a high degree of capability that they could demonstrate within months of getting involved, to where the town would go, oh, well, something's different about that. That level I like. That level what do you want? You know, what do you want me to do? I had parents coming up to me in that Colorado model after the kids shared what they had learned and what they were prepared to do and how much they felt like they were working as a total team. And the parents were so, you know, one parent came and said, I want to go on the retreat for me. You know, let me go on that. You know, I said, okay.
Well, it's like a radio signal. Once they tune in, it's clear.
Yeah, and one lady who had studied like Tony Robbins and all the motivational, she said, I've never heard of a program like this for kids.
You know, I'm interested in it. So I want to talk to Bishop Boots and maybe